Good morning and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. And I just want to start this day by saying to you, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that's Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar is saying to you this morning that if you are that person who always wakes up in the morning and you still want to go there and just lie down, in your bed and not want to wake up, I just want to tell you that you are not going to be great by just staying in bed all of the time. You can be great. You can start little and become great. Good morning, welcome. This morning is another interesting edition of the program. We are live on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, on YouTube, Sky FM and TV channel 6, the Liberia Public Radio there in the USA, and here on Sky FM 107.1, wherever you're joining us from. I want to say good morning. If you can follow us live on Facebook, drop your comments. We're going to read them out for you. Invite someone, share the live as well. And if you're interested in the conversation, you can participate by commenting or calling in. We're going to read the comments at the same time, recognize you wherever you're joining us from. Welcome. My name is Matthias Klabindi. Today is the 8th day of January 2025. Well, I think this month is not behaving like January as we know it to be. January usually moves on a slow pace, but this one is moving rapidly. Yeah, rapidly. I mean, we are now 8 days down. It's interesting. Welcome, family. This morning, we're going to be talking with the former Secretary General of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. He's Mr. Jusu Kamara. Jusu now works in government. I don't know whether he's a partisan of the Unity Party. Well, he's going to tell us that when he comes in the studio. Whether he's just an affiliate whose performance or work made him to, I think maybe anyway, we're going to leave it like that. But Jusu is going to be in the studio. There are a couple of things that we're going to be talking about this morning. You don't want to miss the conversation. And I know some of you are already interested in hearing from Jusu, because looking at the fact that Jusu came from a staunch student advocacy background and now working in government, maybe somebody may now be asking, say, wow, so these young people, you mean that when they are outside of government, they speak loud, but when they are in, they keep quiet? Who wants to sit on the shoulders of the baboon, or chimpanzee, and say your hair smells? You want to do that? We'll be right back after this break. While Zig Ziglar is saying to us that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And guess what Dale Carnegie is saying? Dale Carnegie is saying people rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. Did you know that I got a job outside of the mainstream, like the radio, combative radio journalism? But guess what? I don't like it there. You see, I don't really like it there like that. I would wake up every morning and come here, sit on the radio. At least if I spend an hour or two and just go to work, that's cool for me. And luckily, that's happening already. But good morning, folks. Until you have fun with what you're doing, you don't have fun. Once you're not having fun, trust me, there's a little problem. This morning, we're going to talk exclusively about just one institution. All right. I'm not going to be mentioning other things, like I usually do the pocket size, discussions, inject other things. But I just want to talk about one institution before the guest comes in. Or maybe we can even open the lines to hear from you. And, then you participate on the particular topic. And talking about this institution, I'm going to be looking at the front page African newspaper yesterday's publication, and with the caption, this story was written by my colleague Obadiah Borges Johnson, and it says LWSC Managing Director outlines challenges, says 70-year-old transmission lines hampering water supply. While I know some of you may think that maybe Mr. Mo Ali is having it easy at the LWSC, or perhaps this is something that he's prepared for. Of course, he's prepared from the look of things, but the man is equally saying to you that there are challenges. There is this 70-year-old transmission line or 70-year-old transmission lines that are said to be hampering water supply. And Mr. Ali highlighted that on the Orchid Conversation this week. So, according to the publication, Mr. Ali said the deteriorating state of the 70-year-old transmission lines supplying water to thousands of citizens in Monrovia and other parts of the country are causing problems. He raised concerns about that. He also noted that the aged infrastructure is under immense pressure due to population growth and increased water demand, resulting in frequent ruptures and severe leakages. So Monday, as you know, Mr. Ali stated that the outdated lines cannot withstand the force of daily use. Said infrastructure, this is his exact words, he said, our infrastructure, the water transmission lines, are very old, about 70 years old. The increased population and pressure on supply are taking a toll on them. These challenges significantly affect our operations at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, he said. Now, what about financial and operational constraints? Ali highlighted other challenges, including overstaffing, which he said has stretched the corporation's wage bill to over $350,000 monthly, while revenue generation from customers ranges between $150,000 and $175,000. Imagine you're spending $350,000 for salary, and you are generating between $150 to $175 monthly. How then do you generate the rest of the money to pay? Additionally, the LWSC spends more than $700,000 annually on energy for its White Plains facility alone, and approximately $1 million for water purification. This financial burden has resulted in an annual deficit of $6 to $7 million, compelling the corporation to seek subsidies from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Ali emphasized the need for reform to reduce dependence on government support. He revealed that the lack of employee motivation and adequate infrastructure had previously hindered operations. For example, some substations were non-functional and water supply was irregular due to inconsistent electricity from the Liberia Electricity Corporation. It's a problem everywhere. The infrastructure challenges. Ali disclosed that the sewage lines in Monrovia and surrounding areas had not been properly maintained for years, leading to frequent waste spills. The Busho Island sewage system, for instance, had been neglected for an extended period. The LWSC's warehouses in Fiama, Cinco, and its head office were also in poor condition. Efforts to improve water supply have included increasing daily production from 4 to 5 million gallons to 10.4 million gallons, largely due to extended working hours by engineers. However, challenges remain, including the damaged city reservoir, which has limited water supply to central Monrovia. Ali revealed repairs to the reservoir with an initial capacity of 1 million gallons are underway following an assessment conducted by the government and engagement with the World Bank. The cost of repairs is estimated at over $40,000. So plans for future, Muali said, despite the obstacles, Ali expressed optimism about the LWSC's efforts to improve operations. The corporation has regularized water supply schedules in central Monrovia and minimized leaks in key pipelines. Additionally, the LWSC has hired a vendor through proper procedures to provide water treatment chemicals on credit and engaged the LEC to ensure stable electricity for water treatment plants. In his words, he said, the first day we commissioned water supply, there were leaks everywhere. Our next challenge was to minimize those leaks. Now, at least we can supply water daily on a schedule. He concluded by emphasizing the importance of reforms and investments in infrastructure to ensure consistent water supply and sustainable operations for the LWSC. Well, where do I start from? How do I, maybe make some points concerning this particular development? First of all, I think I'll come from the background of having people with passion. Remember, Dale Carnegie said, people rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. Whatever you're doing, if you're not having fun doing it, if you do not enjoy doing it, you will rarely succeed. And that's what Zig Ziglar said. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. The problems at the LWSC, all those problems needed over the years was just people with vision, leaders that would sit down and look at the problem and start to solve them, little by little or gradually. Whether those people were doing their part, of course they did their part, but whether they were engaging the problem holistically, even though starting little by little, but having a holistic mindset that the problems here, though they've lasted here for 70 years, if God grants me the opportunity and the president keeps me here for the period of 6 years, I want to leave this place and leave a legacy. The engineers that I will be working with here, as I leave, they will be able to remember that a managing director once operated this area and he brought life into this institution. So whomever that will be appointed there now, we have to work in chalk line. Although there are people who are good at destroying other people's, achievements, but in all this, you will come to realize that what we have at the LWSC, from all reports that Mr. Ali keep putting out and one thing I like about the way he's doing his job is that when his men are at work, he reports exactly to the public and tells the public that we are at so place and so thing is being fixed. Children nowadays, usually I say waterman. Folks call him waterman. Other places, some people call him when they say LWSC, they say Mo Ali. By the time they say LWSC, they say Mo Ali. Okay, our guest is already in the building. Yeah, Jusu is a morning bird, so I didn't expect less of him. All right. So this is a good one. And you can see that in recent time there were There were comments when you listen to some talk shows and people open the lines, okay, and you hear that, tell us your managing director of the year, tell us your minister of the year. I did not do that. All right. But we did something in different form. We asked the people to recommend to the government, to advise the government on what to do, at a given time, and people did that. But you could hear a lot of Liberians in their numbers. They recognize Mr. Ali, they recognize Mr. Amos Tue, all right, for the work they're doing. Emma Glasgow's name is still in the public for the right reason. So the point I'm making is, when people are given an opportunity to serve, that's why words, those people who dedicate their time to doing English, they don't just like people to use words. And for example, somebody say, I promise you, but tomorrow you will see me. Listen, don't just be fast to make a promise. You don't know what may happen. Words are spiritual. I don't know whether you know that. Maybe you're hearing this for the first time. That's why mostly grammarian will tell you, let's go to the etymology of the word, the history, the background of this word. Where did it come from? Where was it birthed? Who authored it first? Sometimes you will see that this word, maybe it came from this God, this other God, not the capital G-O-D. But the point I'm making is, I am saying all this to say, that's why people use the words wisely, and they say opportunity. They say privilege. So when you are appointed to serve in a particular area, it is not your right. It is a privilege given to you by the state, by the government, by the president, who is elected by the people to serve. All right? It's not your right. It's an opportunity. It can be taken away from you. So when you are given these opportunities to serve in your various areas, you should know that the only way the people will start to enjoy their country is when the lieutenants of these various institutions are doing a piece of job. Today, you get to the streets of Monrovia, you buy gasoline for $690. Maybe you're not even paying for $700. You're paying gasoline, buying a gallon of gasoline for $700. It's below $700. Unlike, a few years ago, we had the situation of $900, sometimes $1,000. It went to a point of even buying a $1,200. There were people at the LWSC. There were people at the LPRC working there. What is Mr. Tue doing now that they are not doing, or that they did not do yesterday? What is he doing today? What is he doing at the LWSC that other people could not do yesterday? All right. So we'll open the lines market. I just want to tell you, yes, let's see whether you want to participate. But this not any praise singing. When you come until you can work in our space, like a doctor. The way a doctor will administer paracetamol, will give a patient paracetamol, I'm not too sure that's the same way he would give that another patient chlorphenical. All these drugs are different, and they have different responsibilities in the body. So there's different languages he will use to give someone paracetamol, and he will use different language to give someone chlorphenical or different ones. So the point I'm making is, those of us who behind the microphone, it's not every time we come here in the morning and we bombard the government, we bombard people. We should point out people that are sacrificing, that are going beyond, that are doing extremely well in ensuring that Liberia has this kind of image of good servants. We have had people at the LWSC. They did discover damaged pipelines. Look at the sewage system in Monrovia. Everywhere you pass, feces smelling all over the place. Today, you have folks from the LWSC. They're going to these areas. Well, I know they might be finding lasting solution to the problem, but temporarily, what they're doing now is that they go to these places and they put out the feces with their tanks or whatever the vehicles they have, and they take them to whatever location that they're taking them to. Now, at least the smell is subsiding gradually. All right, I could go on to name other people, but I tried to mention Mo Ali of the LWSC this morning, and aligning tagging Mr. Amos Tue to him as well regarding performance. Well, now you may say, well, if you're a journalist, you come on the radio and you say, "Wait, give me a break. Are we not human beings? I'm not saying that this guy is an injure. I am simply pointing out the challenges that he's highlighting in his work and the progress that almost everybody out there in the public is talking about. So I'm saying all this to align my topic on this first segment to the motivational quotes that I read for you this morning. One from Zig Ziglar and the other one from Dale Carnegie. Zig said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So the greatness, the good news we're getting from LWSC today, it didn't just come overnight. I'm telling you, it didn't just come overnight. Somebody decided, you know what? Let's start small. The good news that we're hearing from LPRC, that gasoline price now has dropped to a certain level. You're getting it for $6.50, $6.90, $6.80. You know, that also is a good news. And you know what? So Dale Carnegie, added his word to this and said, people rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. What are you doing that you have fun in, that you really enjoy? Okay, say your duty is the mayor of the city of Monrovia, like Mr. Koji was. The city was so dirty, the city was terrible, but you have passion keeping the city clean. So you could wake up in the morning and wear your jumpsuit, your boots, your helmet, and tell your people, we're going today, we're going to clear Center Street graveyard. And you enjoy doing it with your men in that group. You're there with them. You're motivating them. Your presence there. And that's what Mr. Ali always does. When his engineers are at work, he's there with them. Let's hear from you briefly. Maybe you want to weigh in. The numbers are 0777 107, 0777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. This is Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. Coming up shortly, we are going to be speaking with Mr. Jusu Kamara. Jusu is the former Secretary General of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. Should I say Vanguard Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. And now he's a government employee. He works at the National Port Authority, I think in the communication department. Jusu is here, is going to be with us for at least 1 hour to share his thoughts on the government and governance in general under Joseph Boakai, comparing it with the WIAS administration. Let's hear from you. Good morning.
Morning, Mataya.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. My name is Ali, medical man picking from lab program.
Man picking, welcome, sir.
Me commend you the morning. You see, there was sometimes locally president, people who lay whatsoever they lay, I think important to the reference local mele more Ali, no more Ali in media friendly also. Everything they got doing Mataya, make sure like they fund the public. For example, even the way they prep their problem. Every day you see more Ali will pull it on his Facebook page to inform the citizens what going on at the problem. Somebody down the more 70 years after somebody when everything is coming to go somewhere at today they're working on this. So in this a whole lot of book things talk about yellow government people, people do play talk about best Nyati says he as minister of foreign affairs, United States, like diplomatic passport, he find it to social place. So you have people in the government doing something. But you also get some people who not doing anything, Mataya. I think that the people now in the government need to reach everyone. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for your contribution, Man Pekin. Let's see if we can squeeze in the last person on this segment of the program. Yeah, that's how it should be. All right. When people are not giving their best to it, to whatever they were called to do, they should be asked to take the seat on the bench. They should go back on the bench so that other people who want to play can come and play. It's like a soccer match, right? Let's squeeze in this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mataya.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. This is the voice of CDC Papi Success Keita. I do join you from the avenue of Honorable Jesa Marvin Cole.
Go ahead, sir.
This morning.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mattia. Thank you. I always admire you on your show and on your thought. So I appreciate you for your work for Liberia.
Thank you.
Where sometimes we as a Liberian we know that everybody have a side to take. That's why he must be everybody have a butt. And in my mind, if we are giving grace to the people that the president has appointed to the various ministry or entity, and President Nyanti not to be awarded neither to for credit that she has done well in the short time. What do I mean by that? And reason the Liberian young people were marginalized by President Nyanti in the name of scholarship to the America, son and mother,
but
$2.4 million.
Excuse me, my brother. I did not open this show this morning to critique, to grade other staffers of the government or appointees of the government. Of the president, by the way, I highlighted exclusively the LWSC and I mentioned the the LPRC. So I mean, I think we should just stick to that. Whatever. And the good thing about my style and the way I do this thing is that I did not grade Mr. Ali. I did not give him maybe 80%, 90%. I just highlighted some of the good things he's doing and the challenges he himself is highlighting. So I've left room. Should there be a reason to come by and criticize him someday, we'll do so. You can just conclude in 30 seconds, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for the clarity. Let me talk about the FPRC issue small. And before we create every minister in this country, in this government, let us see the work of the minister or the director or the SG. And I mean, Timothy will be trying to do well. I may say so. But the fact being that I got an issue with him in the sense that you coming along with fire service telling the Liberian people, the gas seller, she leave the SAR. I didn't think it would be necessary for the Liberian people at this time.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
CDC Papi Keita. We're going to be back after the VOA news with Jusu Kamara.
No problem. Always monitor a show.
Elect Donald Trump refused Tuesday to rule out using military or economic action to pursue acquisition of the Panama Canal and Greenland, part of a broader expansionist agenda he has promoted since winning re-election. Reuters correspondent Freddie Joyner has more.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran.
Trump suggested he would impose tariffs on Denmark if it resists his offer to purchase Greenland, which he said is vital to U.S. national security. Denmark has said Greenland is not for sale. Trump's eldest son, Donald Jr., on Tuesday, arrived in Greenland's capital, Nuuk, on a private visit. When it comes to Panama, its president, Jose Raul Molino, has previously rejected the notion of turning the canal back to the U.S., which had owned it before handing over control to Panama in 1999.
We gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way.
That was Reuters correspondent Freddie Joyner. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter is lying in state in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. Carter's flag-draped casket was greeted with a 21-gun salute as it arrived at the Capitol Tuesday after a journey from his home state of Georgia. Vice President Kamala Harris eulogized the nation's 39th president.
Jimmy Carter was that all too rare example of a gifted man who also walks with humility, modesty, and grace.
This is VOA News. Carter died December 29th at the age of 100 in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. The former president and Nobel Peace Laureate will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda until Thursday, when his casket will be taken to Washington's National Cathedral, where President Joe Biden will deliver a eulogy at a final public memorial. Rescuers in China's Tibet region searched Wednesday for survivors trapped in rubble a day after a powerful earthquake killed at least 126 people and injured 188 others. Chinese officials said more than 400 people have been rescued so far. Some 30,000 people have also been relocated after the quake, which destroyed more than 3,600 homes. Complicating the rescue effort was several hundred aftershocks and frigid temperatures in the region. The U.S. Geological Survey said the earthquake measured magnitude 7.1, while China's Earthquake Network Center recorded the magnitude as 6.8. About 30,000 residents in an affluent Los Angeles neighborhood have been ordered to evacuate as a massive wildfire fueled by extreme winds tore through the area Tuesday, destroying thousands of hectares of land. Here's AP correspondent Lisa Dwyer.
Forecasters say life-threatening, destructive gusts could last for days, bringing extreme fire risk to areas that have not seen substantial rain in months.
People in the house?
One fire swiftly consumed a large part of the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, sending residents fleeing down the clogged Pacific Coast Highway. Resident Actor Steve Gutenberg was urging people who abandoned their cars to leave their keys behind so that they could be moved. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
U.S. singer-songwriter Peter Yarrow died Tuesday at the age of 86. Along with Noel, Paul Stuckey, and Mary Travers, Yarrow formed the renowned folk singing trio Peter, Paul, and Mary in the early 1960s. The trio had several number-one hits during the decade, including Bob Dylan's Blowin' in the Wind and the folk classic If I Had a Hammer, which they performed at the historic 1963 March on Washington. Another hit for the trio was a children's lullaby co-written by Yarrow, Puff the Magic Dragon.
The magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the
The trio disbanded in 1970 to pursue solo careers, but reunited 8 years later and remained together until Mary Travers' death in 2009. That wraps up this update, but the world and news never stop. For additional updates, visit our website, voanews.com. I'm Richard Green, VOA News.
The best mix of
You shall once again become the light. You shall once again become the light of Africa. You shall once again become the light. You shall once again become the light of Africa. You shall eat the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land. Hey, you shall eat the fruit of your land, the fruit of your and everywhere you be, she does the own, she does the own, she does the own. Well, hell, I be him, mama. Well, nice to be your best, mama. Well, hell, I be him, mama. Alright, your time. We on the right. Well, hell, Liberia,
All right, Hail Mama Liberia. Liberia is on the rising, is on the horizon. Good morning and a pleasant welcome once again to Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. My name is Matthias Labindi, and I'm here this morning again with my able producer, Mark Abayo. Today is the 8th of January 2025, and we are privileged to have with us in the studio the former Secretary General of the Student Unification Party, and he's the youth spokesperson of the spokesperson for the youth wing of the Unity Party. All right. So Jusu is here this morning, and somebody texted me earlier, said, "But what do you expect? How can you invite Jusu to compare, to do comparative analysis about between the WIAS administration 1 year and Boaka 1 year? So why not?" They say, "What honesty do you expect?" It doesn't matter. It's not about honesty, but he's here. He was here as student activist, for years. If he's saying something contrary, we'll correct him. All right. So it's important that he comes in the studio to share with us his thoughts. But most importantly, I miss the guy. I miss the voice. I miss the critical tune. I don't know what I'm going to get that this morning, but welcome, Jusu. Welcome to the show, and welcome back home. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Matthias. It has always been an honor to be on this platform. Some years back, when we're active in student politics across the length and breadth of this country, this platform, the Sky Communication Network, was one of the media institutions that gave us platform,
right,
that gave us a space to air our discontent with the governance of our country, and the history is there. So we've had this institution in our hearts, and we got a lot of appreciation for this institution.
Okay.
And coming from student activism transition in 2023, it was in the year of elections, and it was time for the country to decide. After 6 years of exposing the misery of the last administration, university campus as student leaders, as activists and student radicals, we had a choice, and that choice kind of aligned, or that urge to change, and the system kind of aligned with what Mr. Boaka, the current president, but then the standard bearer of the Unity Party, and his alliance, and the institution in Unity Party reflected as well. So we had to make a choice to join the Unity Party. We took role in the Unity Party, prominent role as spokesperson of the Youth Congress. We made a formal endorsement, and then we were also privileged to have been announced by the president now as standard bearer of the Unity Party alliance at the time, as part of the national media team. So we're around. And just that we did not have the opportunity at the time to come back on Sky to campaign and what have you. But it has we've transitioned to that now. We run in the state. We were fortunate to have won on the unanimity of the Liberian people, on the support of the Liberian people. The Liberian people who gave that everything to ensure that that which represented evil in governance was substituted for good that is now in place.
We are represented evil. The CDC represented evil in governance.
The carnage, the history of carnage is there. The history of everything.
But you said the people were smart enough to know that which represented evil is replaced with what?
The masses of the Liberian people are not kind of products.
But is that what they said, or is how you describing the previous regime? As a semblance of evil.
The people know what's good for them. Like I said, they are not kind of
so they made a choice. They decided to just
it was a choice,
one over another. But
it was a matter of good and evil.
Does it mean that one was evil and the other is good?
It was a matter of good and evil. If that which was in power represented good, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have been elected by the Liberian people. For the fact that
we don't make choices because one choice is good and then the other one is evil, right?
To you, what political governance and transformation of a state requires. You think what it's about?
No, but you gave it a description of the CDC regime that is probably yours from a political perspective. But is that how the people saw it?
That was how the people saw it. The people saw the issue of I don't want to start with it. Let's go to the show.
Oh wait, I'm glad that you paused that way.
Yeah, I didn't want to start like that, but again, but it's a good thing being here on the platform for the first time since we transitioned to government.
I was just about to ask you, how's the transition? Because the human being, the human psyche operates with energy. How is your energy aligning with sitting in an office and strategizing for government communications or whatever work you do at the National Port Authority, comparing the weight, sitting and seeing missteps and always commenting on missteps and coming on the radio, combating those things and facing the regime. How is your energy aligning with your new space?
I went to a university that is a top-notch one, that instills discipline, a university that is a trainer of not just people who are not just academics but leaders. The University of Liberia has produced vast majority of those who've led this country over years and years. So we were trained by the university, not just by the university alone. I went to an institution that instilled in all qualities, discipline, and the ability to navigate our way through life circumstances and whatever environment will be offered or given time. So these things are not new, and also we didn't just go to government like that. When the government, we took chances of the opportunity we had. I've been out of this country for some time. I went to China and I was trained, has an orientation to come back, to provide the best of service that the country requires in my space. So we are evolving. It's a process, but I can tell we're giving our everything into it, and
you are liking it there.
Yes, it's an honor, always an honor to serve our people. It has always been my quest to be part of a process that will transform our country, to be a part of a process that will advance the social economic paradigm of this country. It has been my passion, it has been my dream, and I'm grateful to have had the opportunity, by the Bouaga government, His Excellency Ambassador Jusu Kamara, President of the country, and to be placed at the National Port Authority. I can say this on the radio free and fair. I appreciate the opportunity. It has shifted me. It has molded me into something different. Right. And this is a Unity Party. The Unity Party is noted for training young leaders. It was not a mistake to have gone to the Unity Party. It has never been a mistake for me. We went to the Unity Party because we saw an institution that believes in the development of the talent of young people. So we went to that institution to benefit, to be trained, to be nurtured by that institution. So whatever service we provide in government today, you can see the distinction. Somebody can say, oh, this man, my man, the way I used to talk things before, I'm not a public servant. I'm a senior government or junior government officer. The Liberian people deserve better and best from me.
So what? So when their
there should be transformation.
You no longer see their pings.
No. It's not
you no longer engage. Certain subject matters that has to do with people.
What you call certain subject matter on the radio? Then you say certain subject matter. What kind of question you ask me and I answer?
No. But you just said that you no longer engage in issues. The way you used to, right?
Listen, a wise man will always see himself in evolution, and I'm a student of historical development. I believe in that process of historical transformation.
So with this transformation,
I was a student leader. I left student leadership. I went to national politics. In national politics, I took a side, and that institution has the responsibility to instill in me its indoctrination. And I went to government preliminary at the base, at the start point. I took chances of opportunity to go to school to be trained. So you don't expect me to go to school and after all these things in professional advancement. And no, I can be myself yesterday. I can never be that Jusu again. This Jusu is in evolution, it's in transformation.
Are you still a member of SUP?
I remain Secretary General Emeritus of the Student Unification Party. Okay. I so cherish the Student Unification Party. I owe my political growth and transformation, everything I've had as a prominence. Okay. I don't want to talk too much because I represent a side now, but everything I've had in my life.
The SUP is no longer your side.
I come in, I'm saying, I said we
you
cherish
represent a side now.
I represent a side, and that's why I'm here for. But
how do you show gratitude? How do you show gratitude?
I was saying that everything that I've had politically as a growth, as an advancement, or people call that, if you like, upliftment, I owe it to the Student Unification Party.
Did the president violate the charter of the University of Liberia by appointing someone?
The president did not violate charter. The charter is there. The charter calls for, the president making decision, and the president made a decision. I believe that Madam Mapayan, Dr. Mapayan, who has been given a space by the president to lead a university, is coming with a top-notch experience.
She's not a citizen of the country. She did not graduate from the university.
Then maybe you didn't read the new citizen law of the country, and Mapaya has been involved here. The charter doesn't say somebody should graduate from the university.
It did not also say that someone should.
You talk about she's not a product of the university,
right?
But she has been involved with the university with research activities, and we have to embrace this woman and give her the space. We have to say to the student community, you have to, like, you welcome. I was on Combox. We welcome Madam Weeks, we welcome Dr. Salvador Nelson, and we give them the chance to work with them. So I know the comrades have embraced you saw the communication from OFA just last night is indicating that they are prepared to go back to class. They are waiting to work with the new leadership of the University of Liberia. So it shows some sense of commitment. They will give all the due process, the due diligence, the openness to show that they can cooperate to build. I'm a product of the university. I won't, and I can say on the show here, we plead with the president, and the president should make this a priority to transform the university. We agitated yesterday that the university was in paralysis. The university still remains, and we're saying to our president, will not be some of those people who come here and say that the country is okay at all levels. That is intellectual dishonesty. The Liberian people are the one who go to the brunt of the daily happenings of the state. They know these things. They know the challenges they are confronted with. And we can say to you, as a government that inherited a very parallax and debauched system that was destroyed from the baseline by the CDC, that in 1 year time we've managed to do total overhaul and reform of the system, and everything is okay. We're making strides. We acknowledge that there are challenges in the system. We're making strides. Is the president making effort? Yes. Is the president demonstrating commitment to change his country? Yes. And these things are reflected in the transformation that are taking place. You can see around. We will not say that everything is 100% okay. No. But this government is making structural changes, structural adjustments. All these things are meant to tighten the boat of the state foundation, because you cannot lead an adequate state governance without a proper reform, especially taking over from, I don't want to say, but from people who, who have destroyed, who honestly
from a government that was a semblance of evil.
Yes, we can say that a serious. I'm
just using your word.
Yeah, a government that transformed our country into Odysseus, into runtime. Runtime, that movie? That's how Liberia used to be like. So we can tell you that, in a space of 1 year, we've managed to change everything.
So just let's zero in quickly on the University of Liberia. So what actually is the problem of that university? Is it leadership or support, financial support from the government to the state-run university?
As we speak, support used to be a problem, but when Mr. Weah came to power, we have over 15 million support to the budget of the university.
Right.
And amidst of that, he announced free tuition. Right. And in a 15 million, we have 1.4 million for free tuition obligation per every semester. And you have the rest of the money, around 13.6 for recurrent expenditure to pay salary and wages of the teachers, the staff, and to do operation of the university. So the university was left with nothing to have improved in terms of material condition. We changed the narrative. The current government gives the university in the last budget 33 million. The very first time the university budget reached 30 million was under the leadership of Mr. Joseph Boakai. And the history of the university budget increasing is a history that is owed to the Unity Party.
Let me get something. You go on. The increase in the budget of the university, is it a way of the Unity Party government saying, let's get rid of this free tuition thing?
No.
Is it still in existence? No. Is the free tuition still in existence?
Like we argued scientifically yesterday,
right?
It was not just a matter of doing pronouncement, but it was a matter of giving adequate support to the university. Education is not quantitative, it's qualitative. So you needed to have given more support in terms of finance to the university to kind of complement its efforts in terms of providing facilities, programs, and to even undertake capital intensive projects to build research laboratories, to improve the science lab. So the government came understanding all of these, if you like, structural problems. The government decided to commit to 3 million. And we know that the only reason why the university has been closed, I can say this here, it has been because of the tussle between the administration and OFA, the University of Liberia Faculty Association.
Right.
It has not been because the government decided to say, oh, we will not support the university. The university has 33 million in the last budget. You can go and do your research. 33 million. So it is not a lack of support, and they were agitating that the president should make a decision to have a new president at the university. The president has made a decision, and yesterday we saw that statement is welcoming.
Okay.
And we're happy to see that there are collaboration from all sides, the administration of the university, the faculty, and even the government coming together to see how best it can forge the university activities ahead.
I think this next question should have been asked to maybe an opposite intellectual, that someone may have been seated here with you, but it's okay that you came along. And that's how I tried to do it.
No, really, since we made decision to consistently come on the radio going forward, because we have to defend our revolution. We honor the statutory responsibility to tell the Liberian people
you are open
the nature of the state that we inherited and the progress that are being made and what have you. We are open to have conversation with anybody.
Okay, I know.
You know me for that. I like away from these things.
I like that openness. So the last question I want to ask concerning the university is that between former President George Maina Weah and President Joseph Yuma Boakai, who is actually tackling the problem hands on?
Which problem you have to be
at the university? So a problem of maybe salary, problem of making sure that the university stays open, problem of infrastructure, financial problem that university have been faced with. Who's tackling it?
So like I told you, people ran the country on pretense. They ran the country on propaganda and deceit. For us, we owe it to the Liberian people. The president instructed the Ministry of Public Works, Minister Guinea and his team. They've done a scientific assessment of what needs to be done in terms of uplifting the image or the structures of the University of Liberia, especially the Capital Hill campus. They've done an assessment, and renovation will be done in the coming months in phases. The students are agitating to go to class, and renovation cannot be going on while students are in class. So they have to kind of go through the first semester. After the first semester, the break, that 1 month, 2 months they use to do some renovation. So the government is committed to doing that. And you can see, trust me, see the university, so
the Boakakon regime is engaging the real problem.
The real problem has been even the counts. Some of the reasons often has been disembarking from the class or the classroom has been because of poor infrastructure. You're saying that the environment is hazardous, is not conducive for learning. So this is one of the reasons why they have disembarked from classes continuously. I was on university campus who saw these conditions. So I wouldn't be dishonest to the students of the University of Liberia. I wouldn't be dishonest to my alma mater to say there are not problems, And we are encouraging, irrespective of the fact the government is making effort, we consistently encourage the president of the country to say to him, Mr. President, the university is the state premier institution. You have to do more. And I believe that the president is a president who listens to the people, who listens to the plight of the people of this country. And the students of the University of Liberia, they are young people of this country. They are a generation of leaders that are in training. So we have to give them the best. And we will, from our side, we in government, we will engage through leadership and what have you. The university will be uplifted.
Let's look at the rule of law. Under President Joseph Yuma Boakai in the first 1 year, comparing it with Weah in the first 1 year. What do you think?
Yeah, so relatively we've done significantly well in terms of upholding the rule of law.
You want to start from Weah because at that time you were active in student
I got a responsibility to say to the Liberian people what Mr. Baga is doing for the country, what my government is doing for the people.
So you don't want to reflect on where.
We'll do reflection.
During the first 1 year of President George M. Weah, did we witness the issue of protestation where protesters and police clash?
Oh yes, our own university campus in 2018, students were brutalized, and the United Party doesn't operate paramilitary gangs. Paramilitary or if you like, and
who brutalized the students
are coming
in 2018.
Right, take your time, my young man. Journalists are not dying, but now in 2018, Joseph Time was a dead body with Fournier. In 2018, Mr. Tua were talking about weaponizing the media against radical voices who were in the Liberian media, weaponizing the CDC against the media. You know about the situation at this time. The president was declaring dissident voices in the country as enemy of state. It's not happening. The opposition is operating peacefully. They are in no combat with the government. They're putting out a statutory responsibility, and that is to protect life and property. So that I can say, yeah, many days we have protests. I wouldn't say that all of our protest endeavors, were organized. Sometimes we blunder in terms of organization, and we met police resistance. It's obvious, these things will happen.
So you don't hold
I come in. Unlike the other people who were in power, who are Sabu unit, who are Zebra unit, who are leading counter protests. We're not having counter protests here. When people say that, but now in 2018, ex-generals, rebels, they've made declaration that anybody goes against the president will go after you. As Bishop Winger was standing on the pulpit in his Dominion church, proclaiming that anybody who criticizes Mr. Weah will die. These things are not happening. You're not seeing religious advisors of the president making threatening remarks on the left of dissident voices. The president is clear. You don't, but now Patrick Honor apply for lesson to operate a media institution in Liberia. For 6 years, he was denied, even though the court gave order. The court ruled in his favor. These things did not happen. We seeing the people from Kings FM, they operating, all of the opposition or radio stations, they are operating vote of suppression, vote of intimidation. Nobody goes against them. This is the kind of state the Union Party has a history of leading. A state that tolerates the views of everybody, irrespective of what you represent.
But other people have a different view, Jusu, that if the president is a respecter of the rule of law, he wouldn't go after people who have tenure positions. He wouldn't sit supinely and watch the impasse at the Capitol building to get out of hand.
Matthias, for me, really, sometimes when people say some things that I can be like, especially the way you asking me at this time, that the Constitution says that every appointed officials they kind of work at the will and pleasure of the president. You know that.
So why were the tenure positions created? I get the direction you're going.
The tenure positions were created, but they're not void of. They stay answerable to the president. So the president has a right when people, even you 17, you conduct yourself disorderly, or you do things that are administratively inimical to that institution, the president has a right to suspend you. So the exercising of the right of the president as given under the Constitution is not a violation of the law. Which we go to that says that to you?
But why would the court then rule against?
No. The court took decision. The president asked the president appointed new cohorts of leaders to have gone to RTA. You know the situation you're talking about. No guards did not resign. They were still serving a tenure, right? So when they went there, the court said they can't recognize the appointment of those people. That's what the court said. The decision of the court was upheld. They said they can't recognize the appointment of those people. So the president came back to use his power as instructed in the Constitution that these people are folks. Some of them were already involved with corruption saga, suspended for administrative reasons, subject them to investigation. Investigation is ongoing, Matthias. Stop being this way.
So after a year, investigation
is ongoing. It's a process. You see, audit. You see, investigation. These things are not things that should just be done hastily on impulse and emotion. You should give people the due process to go through the process rigorously. So tomorrow nobody comes up to say this was an organized and concocted, if you like, plot meant to have taken us out of our position. That's it. You talk about capital bidding. I'm a student of politics and government. There is a separation, doctrine of separation of power. You read the Enlightenment philosopher, the Most Akwe, the John Mills. All of these people postulated there are three branches of government. They work separated, but they work, coordinating. They are separate branches, but they work coordinatingly, and no one branch of government has that right to usurp the function of another branch of government. No, the executive doesn't have any right to kind of melt in the regulated Rickman Road that has been taking place.
So why did the president go up Capitol Hill when he got it fired?
Because it's a state building. The president runs the state. The president is the head of state.
Okay, he's the head of state.
Yes.
So with this, the point is, many people are of the opinion that the president could have intervened.
No, the president not intervened. The president intervened is a violation of law. Matthias, let's be honest now. The president telling the legislature what decision to make is a violation of the law. The president doesn't have that right. There is nowhere in the world the executive will melt in legislative activities. They work respectively. They respect the power each of the branches of government has. Who
assigns security to the speaker if elected?
Okay, so
is it the executive or the speaker decides where to get security from?
So there's a situation. I know these things are obvious that people want to say these things. For a fact, historically we've had speakership elections. And I want to say this to the Liberian people. All of the decisions that they make to elect who is Speaker of Capitol Hill has now been on an interest line of the various constituencies that all of the representatives represent. You know that for a fact. They elect people based on interest. And what you best know that. I wouldn't want to say so many
talking
things.
To the public. Go ahead.
I'm coming. So what happened is that they went for elections. A group of people elected the speaker and said, "You are our speaker." He won. After 4, 5, 6 months, those group of people, they regroup themselves because of anger, discontent, and they characterize the leadership of the speaker to have been something different. I want to be very careful. That's the honorable house of legislature or representative I'm talking about. So I'm very careful with my choice of word. So they say they don't want a speaker. They don't want Mr. Funari Kofa. It's a decision for them. That is a political theater, irrespective of the fact that they operate on laws and what have you. The legislature is a political theater. The decision and laws that are made are not void of politics. So politics law is a subset of politics. People have to understand these things. So it's not really about impulse. It's not about what the side you represent. But you want to kind of melt in the kind of engagements. You should come from an academic perspective, so you have a rich knowledge of what you get into. So the president has nothing. I came here to talk about the executive, the presidency, and what job the president doing for the country. The president has nothing to do with what happened on Capitol Hill. It is amongst the people when they say they elected the other person to be speaker, and went to Supreme Court rule. It was not in favor of anybody. If the Supreme Court was going to rule because Funadi took a P, right? If the Supreme Court are going to say, because Funadi took a P and based on the adjudication of the process, they were not vetted, it should have been said in the favor of Mr. Funadi Kofa, right? It didn't happen. So the Supreme Court battled and said the use of kind of Latin word ultra-verse, and what the men were doing, it was not legal, but also they can't tell the men what to do. So you tell me, say, "Oh my man, you have to go back." The speaker, my man, it is not my responsibility that Mr. Funadi Kofa is not exercising leadership to who is his speakership. It's not my responsibility.
That's how you think.
It's not a responsibility of the president. He has a power. He was elected by a court. The court is saying, how does that align to the presidency?
Let's move on to another thing, Jusu. Let's talk about education under Boakai. How is the Boakai Kun regime engaging education first year?
we inherited a very challenging system. People were here, they just making politics of education. And we got angry to an extent that we say in the faces of these people that education should not be politicized. Now we kind of restructuring. It's about reform. It's about restructuring of the system, the message system that we inherited. For 2 years in the country, 2021, 2022, even 2023, people are not conducting school census here. You go to the Ministry of Education today, they are conducting school census. You know what that does? It helps to inform the decision of the ministry as to how many schools operate. Empirical data comes at the end of the ministry to get to know how many schools are operating here and what level they're operating. You know, what are the standards to do vetting of those schools, to do monitoring and evaluation of the schools, things that were not happening. Currently, as we said here, in November of last year, 75 million was given to the Ministry of Education to use it for early literacy program from grade 1 to grade 6. They give 75 million. That 75 million will benefit over 9 contexts, including Nimba, Lofa, Bomb, Maserado. You can name them. The release is there. You can go and read the release. The user support release is there. And it's going to benefit over 120,000. We talk about early childhood education, while we were still active in activism. It was not a priority of the last administration. In less than a year time, securing 75 million support to the education system, it didn't just come because people wanted to come to Labrador. People have to the team that is led by Minister Jusu, the likes of Samuel Toh, a seasoned academician. These guys are doing a good job at the Ministry of Education, to secure in less than a year 75 million to support literacy program. They're doing reforms. When the minister took over, she had to visit all of the contexts to get to know the conditions of school. That did not happen in the last administration. To get a fresh experience of the challenges that the educational sector is challenged, the education system is challenged with. She took these talks, and today's significant improvement. Go to international schools. You see, more than last year. I went to Tottenham. During my days at Tottenham, I didn't sit down in good chair like that. I was sitting in broken armchair. You go there today, you see people are sitting on good chairs. You go to Gibson, it happened. You go to D12. These are premier state-run secondary institutions. You know about the glory of Tottenham. So the superintendent there is leading efforts of reform. You can see the effort reflected in the work that they do. You can see the commitment reflected as aligned with the president's agenda to change the educational system.
Let's quickly zero in and move on to the public. Let the public be the judge, and talk a bit about the economy. In the first 1 year, this Christmas season, as many people were raising concerns all over on social media and sometimes in community and street corners, that things are tough. What happened? What did you do with the economy?
We agree with the people that things are tough. You know what? We had a government in place at the time that promised to have alleviated over 1 million persons of poverty through the appropriate agenda for development. So it's kind of cliche. I ain't really familiar with it because it represented something differently. That was not scientific. But Warben report in 2023, the fast checker can do the check. A report that says that the government placed over 300,000 people into multi-dimensional poverty. I reiterate, Warben report on Mr. George Weah administration 6 in 2023 that we have placed over 300,000 Liberians in the 6th year of his rule into multi-dimensional poverty. So, do you expect a government that is less than 1 year, to alleviate the 300,000 people from poverty? You really think so? It's a process. So fine. Let's go to the structural issue, macroeconomic stability. Yes, we're doing good job. The Minister of Finance, Mr. Gaffron, yes, it has brought some serious reform to the system. We took inflation from 10.1. Do a fast check. It's currently at 7%. But the first quarter of this year, it will be at 5%. Good job. The GDP of the country was at 5.2 billion. You know, by the end of 2024, it hits 5.3 billion. It's there. These are indicators. And go and read Robin projection on economic growth in the country is projected at over 5.5% for this year. You know, so things are stabilized. The rate of the country we inherited at around 200, 195, 200. It is currently at 185. Stability is there. You know, look at the basic commodity gasoline. It was around 900. We currently sit at 650. You know, so even basic social amenities. See what happened in the water sector of the country. See the good work Mo Ali is doing at LWSC. See the kind of transformation that is taking place. These things are not happening. People running the country are able to say they were running ghetto. You know, but responsible people are in charge. Responsible people are in charge. Security, oh yes, you can see what's happening. In less than a year, government procured over 15 pickups to help to strengthen the monitoring processes of the police. But
the police, I mean, the police IG was here yesterday, and that didn't sound like, you know, he aligns with what you're saying.
No, but do a check. If he didn't say it, means that
there are difficulties. The police is faced with. The police is concerned about challenges and even increasing in budgetary allocation and so many other things.
You get me wrongly. I sat on a show and I made it a base, a premix of my conversation that we inherited a very challenging system, and there are challenges in the work that we do currently based on the legacy challenges that was inherited from the last administration. We acknowledge the fact that the government is making effort, but we also acknowledge the fact that there are many challenges and the government needs to do more. So it's that there's no dishonesty here. When the broad paper, it doesn't mean that the agitation and advocacy for budgetary increment is not significant. With the broad biometrics, for the first time they're doing biometric fingerprinting system at the national headquarters of the police, things that did not happen for 6 years under the rule of these people. It doesn't mean that you still don't have to train police. In less than a year time, the IG was able to procure uniform to dignify the police or the officers in civics. You know, it doesn't still mean that the government should not increase the budgetary support and to be able to kind of augment the effort of the leadership of the police.
Okay,
that's not what we're saying to you. We're not going to be like certain people who come, they say it, they lie to our people, and miss the challenges they want to paint a fan picture. The state is moving forward. Civil 7. I mean, in less than a year, we're talking about the economy. People deharmonization here to take people's salary. In less than a year, government is making commitment to adding people's salary or 7,000%. So isn't that a plus?
Well, folks, you have Jusu Kamara. Jusu is the spokesperson of the Youth Congress at the Unity Party. He's the former Secretary General of the Student Unification Party. He's here with me this morning, sharing his thoughts on the way the government is proceeding so far, you know, in the period of 1 year and moving forward. You can join us live on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page. Drop your comments. We're going to read them out for your better stay. You can call us on the numbers 0777 107, 0777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. Good morning.
Morning, Mataya.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Mataya. Mataya, my name is Aliyu Padikoma, and formula.
Go ahead, Aliyu.
You know, let me commend the Congress in studio there. Mataya, you know the difference between the United Partisan and people from the other side. Now, what Jusu is everything right in studio. Jusu in studio will tell you that know where you sit and see the particular government, everything about the government is right. Do that what Jusu tell you. Jusu tell you that we have a whole lot of challenges. But with all that, again, the government making some deals, Mataya.
You say what?
When you look at the road from Fripo coming to Seaport Bridge, when you look at the road from Fripo going to Gibraltar Bridge, when you look at the Chigizu Factory Road now, the government are already started on Mataya. When you look at Central Monrovia now, every small street you pass on Mataya, you see the light, you see people sweeping the street day and night, they can see it. So Mataya, the government making some deal, we talk about Mo Ali, talk about a most example, you can see Japper going all the thing you see federal government kind of power, the gap is coming down. So the government is making some deal, but it kind of telling you the example, people who in the government that want to declare our assets, that the president not taking action, government can on investigation and not coming out with any report. I think there are some of the things the government really need to work on. So let me comment my brother Jusu. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for your contribution. You can do the same. Call us on those numbers 0777 107 0777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. Our guest is Mr. Jusu Kamara. Jusu is the spokesperson of the Youth Congress of the Unity Party, and he's here with me this morning talking about the government issues as well as way forward of some of the challenges they inherited. But Jusu, there's something I thought to bring to your attention: the issue of Liberia's foreign service. But let's squeeze in this person first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you for the show.
Welcome.
And I want to tell Jusu, thank you too for being there. You see, the government of President Joseph Numa Boakai and his people, they are doing some mistakes. I do know. No man is mistake free. But they also equally do some work when it comes to work, especially with the road, like this last caller just said. Look at St. Paul, the man who was the medicine, the barrow medicine man, left everything undone, and now this government is doing it right under a watchful eye. So I think that before the end of March or April, we will see a great gain. I just came from Zosa Way, and you see the road from Salaye going toward Wanjama. It's marvelous. So there's some gain. Even though there are some mistakes, the president needs to put his feet down hard for people who are doing other things that are not even called for. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your contribution on the program. Let's move on to another person. Call us on those numbers 0777 777 107 0777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. Welcome to Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. Our guest is Mr. Jusu Kamara, spokesperson of the Youth Wing of the United Party Youth Congress, by the way. I was talking about foreign service. When Madam, when the foreign minister was appointed, there were concerns about what kind of image she would bring. One of your own, Mr. Martin Colley, also went for her and talking about credentials and so on. What can you say about Liberia's foreign service today under the current foreign minister, Sarah Beslo-Yanti?
Foreign service is making strides. We see reforms. I can say to you, the image that this country had in the last 6 years under the WIAC's administration was a one of tyranny, was a one of our country being classified as a banana republic, very disorganized state that did not adhere to the rule of law, and every facet of the society reflected violation of human rights. You see the records. You saw how people got designated, how people got sanctioned. Even the office of the presidency was sanctioned. These things are not happening. Our diplomatic passports
just 1 year
are
anyway.
Coming. He said 1 year, but we're talking the progress
Right.
we made.
Yeah, right.
We're not going for 6 years. I can talk for 6 years for United Party. Man.
Go ahead. Right.
What are you going for God or what? So, diplomatic passports were in the hands of terrorists, were in the hands of scammers and people who did not have credits on the international scene. Our country got very disqualified, very relegated on a WIA. And then you can see the progress that the country is making. We don't try to retighten relationship with our strategic foreign allies. Significant strides are being made. USA is kind of troubling support. You can see that USA was giving 112 million in the last administration for the entire support to the efforts of the government. You say it's committing over 140 million currently, and they are making 75 million commitment to the educational sector. You can see that all these things are diplomacy in work, diplomacy in action. You know, Biden is committed to give over 80 million for grant to help complement the efforts of the government to infrastructure development. You witness the president's trip to China, and you can see that kind of camaraderie and solidarity that's being fought in terms of international partnership with China. LeBron has a very bad international relationship with China over the last 6 years, you know, for some obvious reason, because the elements who were serving in the position of foreign ministers, they didn't have the morals, they didn't have the reputation. Mr. President was there on his watch. Passport degenerated. They brought Mr. D. Maswell Kimi at the latter stage of the administration, a man who was alleged of rape in America, and because of that, his entire family was relegated back to the country. You made an image of your foreign relations, you know. So the president made a decision, went for somebody who is seasoned, somebody who has had experience, who are working in international space with vast knowledge, with the expertise to command transformation in the sector. You can see that Madam Beslo Yanti is doing well. We can see that she's excellent, because to tackle challenges is not a wounded thing.
Okay, let me bring in this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias. Let me say good morning to our FG in studio. John D. Tamba is my name, and I'm phoning from around the Simple River.
Mr. Tamba, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. As my colleagues in studio, you know, upon the issue of foreign service. Matthias, you were here. You were not nowhere. You remember the story of those two gentlemen that were all ripping up in Asia. You know that. Today, two Liberians in prison in that country. That's how Liberians get, you know, down when it comes to foreign service. I heard people, you know, sometimes hear people praising the past administration. You know, I don't know why people quit to love sight or quit to love memory. We saw our passports. I mean, people were agitating on the issue that has to do with our international passport. Kudos to the new foreign minister, Madam Sarah, right? And when she took over, she requested for all of the diplomatic passport, giving an ultimatum that if you fail to bring it, that passport will be invalid. I mean, you saw people bringing those passport, although some of them did not bring it back because they don't have the face to bring the passport back. So I think Madam Sarah is doing well to connect Liberia back to the international stage. You see the international help that coming in. The issue that has to do with the MCC. People say why the money could not come under the past administration, but you saw how the past administration performed. And before 6 years, 4 persons were sanctioned on the issue of corruption, and the international community pointed at those guys. And the guys still ran on the government ticket of this political party and won the election.
Okay, Tamba.
So tell me, what a confidence that the people will have.
All right. Thank you, Tamba, for your... Let's squeeze in the last person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir.
Let me say how to the brilliant young guy in the studio. My name is Lincoln. Lincoln T. Lincoln, I'm from DC.
Go ahead.
You know, if we want to do a comparative analysis between the United Party government and then CDC government, I mean, there's a serious disparity. One government in power bringing in boss and guests, another government in power bringing in intelligent men and women. For example, the United Party government, they look at the foreign minister, they wanted to follow their steps. Then look at the minister from Mass Energy. He had transformed that ministry has become. Honorable Women P, if you went to Mass Energy Ministry today, you just see that it is a foreign embassy. This is what we call intelligent and responsible leadership. So, I mean, there are a lot of things we can say about this government that they are done positively. Yes, there are challenges, but the Greens have superseded most of the challenges that I have seen. And let me just commend the Brother Institute again because he has said enough.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your contribution. We're going to close it there and give Jusu the chance to wrap up. If you were to make a decision again a few years from now, would you still support the United Party?
I don't have a history of flip flopping, but the Unity Party is an institution that we've made a commitment to. And
so you've been admiring the party over the years while you criticize Ellen as a student.
History is in motion, and nothing is starting.
History is in motion.
I wouldn't want to say what happened with the Salif administration, but it's the party. Mana Salif was not a party. Though my history is there for this agreement and other stuff and things like that. But Mana Salif is somebody who did better for our country. And the kind of status that she took the country from and where she left it in 2018 when she transitioned to Mr. Weah. So we remain committed to the United Party. It is our responsibility, as we said, we made a commitment. Now, going forward this year, we're not sitting in comfort zones. We're coming out. We will defend our government. We'll sit with the Liberian people.
So what difference will it make? This government is soon to have many spokespersons.
No,
just like the way we saw in the Weah's administration.
We got spokesperson. We got party. I'm the spokesperson of the National Youth Congress of the Unity Party. I have a statutory responsibility to consistently engage the media, consistently engage the stakeholders of this country.
Not contradicting government PRs.
Not contradicting. There is not an information here that was distorted. Everything I told you is a challenge. You can put it in your laptop. You can reach it out to the fast checkbox on the data we provide on the economy, the data we provide in the education sector. You can provide contracts to them if you say anything wrong or anything that was in contract or contracts to what the real things are. But we'll be consistently coming on the radio. It is my ardent hope that in coming days you can find somebody from the other side. Those guys are elusive. Consistently they come, they imagine things for themselves. They feel that these are the problems that Liberian people are faced with. We have to consistently engage in the cross section of conversation so that we get to know who is telling the truth and what the truth represents.
Okay. Jusu, thank you so much for coming in this morning. He's Jusu Kamara. And that's all the time we have for today's edition of the program, Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. Like you heard him, he's going to keep engaging. He's not going to sit there supinely and just watch people go about with information. And as we too, we are back on the radio. We're going to keep engaging young people and bringing them on to from different backgrounds, different school of thoughts to discuss issues about Liberia, as T-Mag would say, to make our country a wholesome and functioning society. My name is Matthias Labindi. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll be here tomorrow morning again.